I am the Watcher. I am your guide through these vast new realities. Follow me and dare to face the unknown and ponder the question, what if? Which is the subject matter for today. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Alter Ego Podcast. I'm your host, Jack Austin. With me, as always, is the Cyborg. Cyborg?
Where you at, though?
Oh, he's getting married. And we're so happy for him. We miss you, Mark. You'll be back soon. Ryan, what up?
Not a whole lot. How's it going?
Oh, you know, living life, 0 to 60, 9 to 5, 365 days a year. I pulled some strings, just so that you're aware.
What kind of strings?
Well, we've had somebody who used to appear on this show with us, and they took a hiatus. They took a long break. I think they climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. They solved world hunger. They did all kinds of stuff, but they're back. Hey, babe.
Hey. It's world peace. I finally found world peace.
Oh, so she's
Stay
got
tuned.
time for us little people again.
That's right.
Stay tuned.
That's why she
world
joined the good old Alter Ego Pills.
Serving
back.
my country for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
By singing the
Absolutely.
national anthem at high school volleyball games.
You know who else was serving their country? Ford Supply Company.
They certainly are. Keeping
This
the stinky
episode
out
of
the
Alter
streets.
Ego is sponsored by Ford Supply Company, makers of all natural and organic soaps for men. Visit their website at FordSupply.com to order online and use promo code Alter Ego to get 10% off your order. Ford Soap, real soap.
No bullshit.
Hey, let's
You gotta
talk about
get
a
the
really
coffee
quick
soap.
scent. Real
Get the
quick
coffee
scent.
soap. Yeah, go ahead.
Seasonal. Carver's out.
I was going to say,
it's
I
the
just
pumpkin
cracked my
spice one.
Carver.
Oh, I saved one from last year. I'm so happy I did, but I got to order more.
It is
It's my
hot
fave.
fire. It's very
my
good.
favorite. But it's available right now at
Yeah.
FordSupply.com.
Makes you smell really good. Put it on your body and go out in public.
And I can tell you right now, you'll get all the ladies loving it.
All the ladies are going to say, who smells like a pumpkin? But after that, they're just going to look at you weird.
And then you pick those dates to Tony Anello's.
Oh, wow. All right. You want to segue? You get to
Sure.
read.
Tony Anello's Southern Italian Cuisine and Grill is a hidden gem that is family owned and operated on the outskirts of St. Petersburg at 1136 Pinellas Bayway, South Tierra Verde, Florida. It's a must try for a homemade Italian lunch or dinner. Just remember to bring your appetite and those ladies because the portions are very generous and you might need to share.
The ladies you pulled from Carver.
Ford.
Yeah, from Ford Soap.
Call for a reservation today at 727-867-3577. Check out TonyAnellos.com.
Yes.
We're probably going to be in the building soon.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Are
Actually,
we?
the Cigar City Sports Podcast crew and yourself,
Oh,
because you're a +1,
oh wow.
is going to get to go
Wow.
because on another show that I do, the Cigar City Sports Podcast that I do with Mr. Ryan, two of our wonderful co-hosts have made a bet with each other over the Bucks and the Eagles, but that's not what we're here to talk about.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm down. I'm also part of the production crew for that, so I'm not even
Yeah,
a +1.
that's true.
I have my own ticket. Thanks.
That's true. Okay, wow. Okay, whatever you have to tell yourself.
But you're paying for it. So
There's not much that I could see from DC this week, but DC Fandom is next week's topic. It will be absolutely loaded.
and hopefully epic and not a trailer.
There was a
trash
teaser from the new Batman, the updated Batman trailer that we're going to get to see. And I think it's going to look really good. It's just a still of him looking out over Gotham. It's very scenic. Looks amazing. What's your most excited thing to see from DC Fandom? What do you guys want to see?
The credits.
Credits.
Wow. So
You
the
don't
end.
care.
No, actually, I want to see the Flash.
I want to
Me
see a new trailer for the Batman movie
Yeah.
for sure.
I think that is
That's literally all that I care about.
is the king. For me, it's going to be cool. I want to see more Peacemaker.
See, I don't care about that.
Yeah, I want to see more stuff come from that show. But anyway, that's going to be a good one. Comes out as of the time you're listening to this. Came out Saturday. If you're not caught up by now, I'd be surprised. Let's talk TV and movies, shall we? A couple of remakes got trailers dropped this week, both of which I really don't care for. Got to be honest with you. Scream got a remake.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I was just like, they're bringing back Neve Campbell and David Arquette, which is cool because they're from the original. So that I understand. All right. cool, interesting, but I'm just like, I don't care enough about Scream to find out who's behind the mask.
Well,
But apparently Ghostface knows them all. So
isn't that the whole point of the last one too?
right. Isn't that the point of it every time?
Yeah.
Just gory murders and anyway.
Fun fact, it's actually based on a serial killer from Gainesville, Florida.
Interesting. Ghostface? What about it? Where did they draw to the character from the serial killer?
I don't remember. I just know that the guy who wrote Scream originally, that's who he used as his inspiration. There's a guy called, I think his name was like the Co-Ed Killer is the name they gave him or whatever.
Co-Ed Killer. That is a guy in the show. What's that show we watched? Mindhunters?
Oh, no.
Not Ed Kemper. It's not Ed Kemper.
Oh, isn't he the Co-Ed Killer?
He also had that nickname.
Okay.
Name similar.
Same moniker, different guy.
Yeah, and a different style of killing people. This guy liked to just break in, kill families if they were there in his way, or women, and like to cut their heads off and display them on like shelves.
Wow.
Yeah, he was pretty gruesome.
Pretty messed up dude.
Yeah, he was.
Yikes. Speaking of gruesome killings, Home Alone got another trailer.
Oh,
got their first trailer, actually.
I mean, Macaulay Culkin's got to be like way too old now.
Yeah.
He's not.
He's also not in the movie.
He's currently in the show
American Horror
Stories. Speaking of which, there's a new one on tonight, so I'm going to watch tomorrow.
Is he setting booby traps?
No.
In the Home Alone movie? Yeah, the kid is.
No, I was talking about American
Oh,
Horror
an
Stories.
American Horror Story. The demon comes from hell and he sets up with a paint can?
Yeah.
I highly doubt it.
No, then I'm not in it.
Yeah. Another remake. This time it's from the world of TV. That 70s show is getting that 90s show.
Oh, I was hoping they weren't going to do something like that. They did that 80s show, and I think that flopped.
It flopped hard. Nobody really cared about it. So now they're doing 90s.
That reminds me of that TikTok sound. Sorry, I'm bringing it up. To where the guy is talking about how the kids these days are referring to the 1990s as the late 1900s. And then he just like looks at the camera, looks away, and then he goes, "Man, fuck them kids." I was like, yeah, fuck them kids. That makes you feel so old.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's not exciting to me. I really don't care about that at all.
Do we know who the cast is for that, though?
They show the parents as the two that I saw in the promotion. I don't know if Topher Grace is coming
Topher Grace
back.
is one of the parents, along with what's her face from the red-haired chick.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
Was that his love interest in that movie?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Then I might be in.
They haven't said anything about those two, so we'll have to see. So we got the Cowboy Bebop show that's coming out on Netflix. And I found out something really cool. The original Japanese cast that did the VO is coming back to do the dub for the new show. I think that's kind of like refreshing, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like for the Japanese folks to be able to watch it and hear those identical voices, that's pretty badass. I really like to hear that.
Although to me, it's like, why make it over again? And you're just pretty much remastering it.
Yeah.
If it's the same voices.
Well, it's live action, though, so it's going to be a little bit different. I'm actually going to want to watch the anime again. I'm going to watch it back and just see, get caught up before I watch the live action and can make an actual comparison.
I'll have to finish the last 18 episodes.
Yeah. How many episodes are there in
There's
Cowboy
only
Bebop?
24 or 26, something like that. Not a lot.
Good. That's always good.
Yeah.
Because if they decide to keep it going, they can do an original story and nobody's going to hate them for it. Here's one that I wrote with you in mind.
Uh-oh.
Because you talk about this all the time. This is from the Fast and the Furious world.
Oh, man. Give it to me.
And here's something that I think we knew already, but I just wanted to bring it up because I wanted to hear your comments. It's about The Rock.
Oh, boy.
And how he absolutely refused to do any scenes with Vin Diesel. He said the only way he would be in the movie is if he had no scenes with Vin Diesel.
Wow.
Right? I wonder. So Vin Diesel has also come out and said that he had to show The Rock some tough love to get the best acting out of him. And I'm just sitting here like, I wonder where that came from. The Rock seems like a very confident, as he has every right to be, and a bit of a control freak.
Yeah. I don't know what their beef is lately. I didn't even know they still had beef. As far as I knew, they had squashed it and it was done and over with.
Yeah.
But I know it originated from The Rock, like getting there and trying to be like, you got to do this, like hardcore, let's go.
Yeah.
And Vin Diesel's like, bro, this is like the 6th fucking movie we've done. We
Yeah.
got this.
This is my production.
Yeah.
The Rock is a very show up early, no sleep. Everybody get here on time. Everybody do what we need to do. And then he had his bit with Tyrese. I think The Rock is done with it, man. I think he could care less about the Fast universe.
And I'm not going to lie. In some ways, like he had his run.
Yeah.
I'm good with him not being in it.
You think they're just not going to miss him?
Not really.
Is Vin Diesel big enough to carry that whole thing?
I mean, he has already to 9.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen.
What did he need The Rock for? The Rock was just a breath of fresh air. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, The Rock was another draw for a new crowd.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I got for that. I'm just like, I'm kind of with you. I don't really care about the Fast franchise either. After Tokyo Drift, they lost me. But that's they could go without The Rock.
Like I said, for me right now, it's just sheer entertainment factor. Like, I'll see it, but
Right.
that's it.
But I don't care what happens.
Yeah.
So the next thing I got, I think we've talked about this. I don't know. But did you know Ridley Scott, I think, is developing an Alien TV show?
No.
Yeah. I didn't know that either. So like Alien, the what are they called? Starts with a P. Anyway, I don't know.
Me neither.
I don't know what we're talking about.
You know the movie Alien with Sigourney Weaver and all that? They're doing a TV show about it.
Okay.
Which I don't know what the premise of that would even be. Because you're going to have to follow a human being. You're not going to be able to follow a hive of aliens. That's just boring.
Maybe it does follow them. Hey, maybe it even leads into some predators.
Hey, listen, don't get my hopes up.
I'm trying.
I mean, what would it be though? Like a town getting taken over by aliens? That's hard to see. Or does it take place in space? Yeah, I don't even know if I'd really care about watching that.
Me neither. It'd have to be
We'll see.
something good and different.
Yeah, it's something Zoid. I don't know what they're called. I can't think of it right now.
I have no idea.
Damn it. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to get it before the end of this episode. I know I will. Speaking of TV shows, the biggest TV show in Netflix history. Do we know what that is?
Orange
With
is the New Black.
11.5 billion
Yeah, Squid
views.
Games.
Squid Games.
Squid Games. This thing, I feel like it just came out.
Recently,
Yeah.
people keep pushing it on me.
That a lot of people are pushing it as well, just to watch it. But it's all,
I've
don't
heard
know, man.
mixed reviews. I've heard it's great. It's awesome. I've heard it's absolute trash.
I have heard a lot of different things. And I will also say this. I am on the side of it's probably going to be really good because I know a lot of folks that have watched a movie that I like to recommend to people, which is Apocalypto. And some people love Apocalypto because it's fantastic. And some people don't want to read subtitles, so they hate it and just are like, I don't really care. So I don't know which one that is with Squid Games. I haven't watched it because I don't know. When it comes to like horror and survival and a bunch of people dying, I'm like, maybe, I don't know. Just kind of thrown off. Did we talk about Critical Role last week?
I don't think so.
Did we talk about the fact that their show that they did the Kickstarter for, the biggest Kickstarter in history, for a TV show, is now going to be premiering on February 4th, 2022?
I cannot wait.
That will be
I'm so
something that we
stoked.
binge watch.
Oh, yeah.
And-
over and over, probably.
And review here on this show.
Yeah.
I'm extraordinarily excited for it. I think
We'll
it's
tell you
gonna
all
be...
about it if you don't watch it.
So, just for everybody that doesn't know, Critical Role is a bunch of voice actors that do Dungeons and Dragons on a weekly basis, and they have become wildly popular since they've started. They went and did the Kickstarter. Now they're going to have the TV show, and all the cast of the actual D&D game are playing their characters in the show for Amazon. So I think it's going to be quite intense.
I'm really excited.
Me too. Their new campaign kicks up pretty soon too.
Yes, next Thursday,
Yeah.
10 p.m. Eastern time.
I should have
I'm gonna
finished
stay
with
up all
that.
night.
Should have finished with that, but I didn't.
Right.
Yeah, right. No, it's not going to happen. She can see the
I'm
end
gonna
credits.
stay
and
up
then,
the whole time, bitch.
Wow. Wow.
Twice in a
Twice in one day.
Bitch.
Hellraiser. I didn't know they were remaking Hellraiser.
If you ask me, Hellraiser.
You opened the box. We came.
So terrible. Why make that again?
Please, no tears. That is a waste of good suffering. They've cast their Pinhead, Jamie Clayton. I don't know where the young lady is from, but we are changing things about Pinhead, who is an alien. So I don't really know if he's a boy or a girl or what he is. He kind of just looks like the embodiment of suffering. So, that always comes up when you change the gender of a major character. I don't think this really is going to even change the lore of him.
You can't say him if it's
I just thought about that right as I said it.
Them, whatever it is.
I don't really care. I'm with you. I don't think, Hellraiser's really like a cult classic that it's not like Freddy or Jason.
Yeah.
It does have a cult following. That's not fair to say. And he is a horror icon, but I don't know if he's up there with Freddy, Jason, and Michael Myers.
Is he? Because, I guess. Like, I know when I see him, but I'm like, I could care less. I remember trying to start to watch the movie.
Yeah.
The first Hellraiser, and I'm like, this is so bad. I've got a lot of other things I could be doing right now.
Yeah, I imagine with FX they have today, this movie might be wild. I'm going to have to tell Mark to tell his fiance, soon-to-be wife, to watch that one and tell me what she thinks.
Technically, you're going to have to say wife because they'll be hearing it and fiance will be past tense.
They'll be married by the time they hear it.
They will be married by the time you guys hear
Mark,
this episode.
ask your wife.
Oh.
Yeah, on to video games. We've got some good video game stuff.
I like video games.
Me too. We should talk about it. So, we talked about the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy last week, that it might be getting a remake.
Yep.
Got a lot more news about that. They say now you can't find those games on the internet. They've been removed. So that points even more to the fact that you're probably going to get a remake of it. Excuse me. And the rumor now is they're going to release a remastered version and sell it as a trilogy. And sell all 3 games for $70. Is that a good value? You buying it?
No.
You're not buying it for $70?
See, here's the thing, is you already have Grand Theft Auto 5, which is still selling gangbusters and is still on the top of the charts like 7 years later.
Really?
Why would you pay for, damn, I was in high school when the first Grand Theft Auto came, the 20-year-old game?
Yeah.
Just because it's remastered and you
$70 for 3 games, essentially.
Yeah, but
What's a good price point? What draws Ryan in?
me? Like best of $20? I'm in. $70? No.
Okay.
Ryan doesn't have that kind of time to sit there and play 3 full games all over again.
I agree. I'll wait for it to go on sale.
Already beaten, and it's just a nostalgia thing because that's who this is for. This is for a crowd who actually played the game when it came out.
Yeah.
We've already got it. Most of us still have the games. I don't because those scumbags at GameStop took mine.
And gave you a shiny nickel for it?
Oh, bro. Don't even want to go into that story because it's bad.
Well, speaking of investments, PS5 has reopened registration to buy their systems.
That's a ploy.
Yeah? You don't think people are going to actually get them? That doesn't make sense.
I don't think as many people, I shouldn't say, are going to get them as want them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, from what I understand, and I've heard other people talk about it who are much smarter than myself, it's kind of a gauge to see where they're at because you're still having a shortage. Like, just because PlayStation says, oh, we're opening it back up again, unless they physically have them, which they probably don't because they'd be on the shelves now selling.
Yeah.
I mean, people want these things badly.
Yeah, very badly. It's hard to get a hold of them right now. I don't know. I'm not interested in the PS5. I am and I'm not.
Yep, same.
I'm not. That's a huge financial investment
for a paperweight
to go
for me.
into and say, oh, do I want to play this or PlayStation or Xbox?
Are you yawning?
Sorry. Or the Nintendo Switch. You know, it's hard. It's hard for me to invest that kind of money. I don't have that much time to invest in video games, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But there are some other games that are getting remade. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Apparently that was the best one, and that's getting remade.
It's opinion based.
Oh, they all are.
Yeah, you know. Me, I only played 2 all the way through and beat it. I
Yeah.
never played 1. I watched friends play 1.
Right.
Or parts of it. It looks cool. 2 for me was a little short. And then 3 I started playing and did not care for. Right after it came out.
This is Metal Gear Solid 3 that
Yeah.
they're talking about.
I didn't really care for it too much.
I just want to hear that brink when
Yeah.
people see you. That was an iconic one.
I hear 5 is awesome too, though.
What do you guys think? I mean, is Snake Eater a game that you care about? Is Snake Eater something that you want to play? I mean, I knew Metal Gear Solid has a good following, but I've seen some recently that I was like, damn, that game looks good, and it's never going gangbusters. It's never going crazy.
Are you asking us or are you asking the audience? Because I don't even know what that is.
So, deductive reasoning
He's
would suggest
asking us.
that I was asking the
Audience.
audience.
Okay, well.
How about the new Star Wars game that's going to get announced in
Oh,
December? You excited
Just-
about that?
Oh, I'm just riveted.
Okay, so here, let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and say, okay, so
I can't contribute.
new Star Wars game.
Start playing games, you nerd.
I know. God, I'm so out of the loop. Somebody teach me how to toggle.
There you go. I'll teach you how to toggle. Teach you how to toggle. No, I would be happy to teach you how to toggle. I'll give you private lessons. However, Star Wars game.
Oh, wow, wow.
I'm going to pitch you 2 games. Ryan,
Mhm.
here's a game where you play as a Jedi.
I'm in.
And you are going across the galaxy, fighting the Empire, and having a gay old time. It's linear. You're going to see Darth Vader. We're going to throw people in there that everybody cares about. Or it's going to be another Battlefront game where you're a stormtrooper or a rebel and you're walking around shooting each other. Good? You into that?
We all know I'm not into Star Wars, but
Okay.
sure.
Let me pitch you a second game. You are a Mandalorian where you are a bounty hunter
Dope.
or a monster hunter, and you are going into certain areas and defeating enemies, searching for them, whatever you want to call it. And then you can customize your armor, customize your ship. You can get into battles in space. Which one are you into?
You said Monster Hunter, so you know that one got me.
I do know that one got you. I don't know. I'm ready for not Jedis again.
Yeah, see, I think I know people are tired of that. Like,
Yeah.
it's the same old thing.
I am tired of that. I would rather get a Mandalorian and follow a code and figure out what weapon I want to specialize in. Does this sound eerily like my Predator game that I came up with?
I personally want to play as Darth Vader and just take over the entire galaxy. And I want to do that choke thing.
Well, one of
to
my
everybody.
favorite things, though, the Force choke. My favorite is Chris Rock talking about Darth Vader. He's the baddest man in the whole galaxy. He's got all that black armor. Then you find out at the end he's a white guy, which means at the end we all want to be white. Chris
Yes,
Rock,
we do.
man, big fan of the show. I love you, Chris. Thank you so much. So yeah, that's what we've got for news in the video game department and the TV and movie department. But I think it's time for us to jump into some Marvel news. There's some good Marvel news before we talk about What If. So let's take a real quick break-a-rooski,
Okay.
and then we'll jump right back into it. Sound good?
Yep.
All right, cool. And we're back.
Yes, we are.
On to some Marvel news. Have we all
Marvel.
seen Black Widow?
Yay.
Yes, we have.
We have.
Didn't we talk about it like weeks ago?
Pretty sure.
Yep.
Stuff goes in, stuff goes out. Sometimes I remember. Did you know they almost cut the dinner scene? The
That
dinner
would have
table
been
scene?
so disappointing. That there was so much chemistry in that whole scene that just showed kind of the dynamic as their family. And there's a lot of people in the world that probably related to that moment
Yeah.
because of, I mean, me included, imagining what that would be like to sit around the table from a broken family and have that discussion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe not so broken, but you get what I'm saying.
And having those conversations with your family and
Yeah.
realizing the dynamic of everybody was really good.
I love
So
it.
apparently they were going to cut that, but Kevin Feige was the one who came out and was like, no, we need this.
Yeah, that's incredibly important. Not necessarily for the storyline, but it's incredibly important for the depth of the characters, especially if we're going to see more out of her sister. I think it was very important to see that sort of interaction, like you were saying. That's one of your favorite things is that she's sitting there taking shots basically straight out of the
Just
vodka bottle.
down in them.
Doesn't even matter. She doesn't even care.
She
And that
was
just
my
shows-
favorite part
yeah,
of that whole movie.
Absolutely. And it shows a lot in her character.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of depth there to kind of show her strength emotionally and mentally.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I thought it was important. I would have been not that I would have known, but I would have been very disappointed if after the fact I saw that and was like, shit, why wasn't that in there? That's one of those deleted scenes that you're kind of like, nope, that would have been great to have.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think that makes that movie really great. Them listening to Red Guardian try to put the outfit on while they're sitting
Yes.
there at the
Yeah.
table is another really funny one.
Yeah.
David Harbour did an amazing job at
Agreed.
that.
Still fits.
Yeah. Speaking of characters, Evangeline Lily. Do we know who that is?
No.
Um,
It sounds familiar, but no.
You know who it is. I know you do. I just need to tell you who it is.
Yeah.
she's got black hair.
Yep.
I was just looking at her last night.
Prove it.
Don't tell Abby.
No, I was on IMDb from What If. I forget who
Yeah.
she is.
Yeah. Yep. She is in What If.
Oh?
Yep.
Someone who plays the character of the voice?
Yeah.
Is it Captain Carter?
It is not Captain
I was gonna
Carter.
say that's not her name.
I give up. I
Evangeline
can't remember.
Lily is the Wasp.
The Wasp.
Oh,
That's
shit.
the
Wasp.
Yes.
She was in she was in that Lost show.
Yes, and she also is in What If in the Zombies episode, playing
Herself.
Hope Van Dyne. She says she had a breakthrough moment of understanding the Wasp on Ant-Man 3. She said, "Oh my God, I finally get her." And first of all, I just have a couple questions. A, why is that news? And B, what is there that's
As we
so
report on it.
complicated to get about Evangeline Lilly's character, about Hope Van Dyne? What don't you get?
And how do you not figure it out for like hours and hours and hours of filming?
Because let me tell you
as that
something.
character.
Tomorrow, you pick any character in the MCU or DCU. Tell me right now that I'm playing them in a movie, and I'm going to Emerald City Comics right down the road and buying every single comic I can on that character. Right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
What's not to get? I mean, she was an orphan for a while, had the struggle with her dad. Now she loves Scott Lang. She's got the family back. What don't we get?
What part about that character did like snapped into place?
Is
for
like
her? That's kinda
overly
what-
complicated. That's
Yeah.
what I want to know. Is like, is there something we don't know that we finally see, that we hear that's like, oh, this whole time. That's why she wears those particular socks.
She's got a drinking problem.
Yeah.
We're going to throw
Cheers.
that in there. Not that that's funny, but I just thought that was the interesting thing to throw in there.
As the drinker in the room
Yeah, well, we have meetings every Thursday.
right now on air.
So there are 3 spin-off shows right now coming out to Disney Plus. They got to come to Disney Plus. There's nowhere else for them to go. Did you pause that? We've
Nope.
got What If in the background. We're watching What
I
If.
didn't. Just let it go. I was trying to skip the intro and now it's paused. I'll work my way through it.
Okay. 3 shows. First one, we talked about this. Agatha Harkness getting a spin-off series
Yes.
for Disney Plus, and it is being called a dark comedy.
Love it.
So in.
Yeah, absolutely. 1000%.
What's she in? I don't care. I'm watching.
Doesn't matter.
And then we've got one following Monica Rambeau from
From Captain Marvel.
no.
Marvel.
Yes. Monica Rambeau is the daughter
Yeah,
in,
yeah,
in that
yeah.
one. But she is in WandaVision.
Yeah.
And she becomes Photon.
So it follows her from that series.
I hope it follows her in her adventures at Sword.
Yes, that would be cool.
Right? That's what I really hope.
Mm-hmm.
That it's going to be her out in space, and then maybe she can tie in with Nick Fury.
Maybe with some prequel stuff thrown in there.
And these Disney
yeah.
movies, they're getting all sorts of support now, and they're going to have a crazy budget. You know what I mean? I think they're going to go well. And the third one that I was like, oh man, is going to be Xia Ling and the 10 Rings. So Shang-Chi's sister, they're going to have a show following her and her duties and her dealings, trying to bring up the Ten
Empire
Rings.
of the
Nice.
yeah. I like that a lot. That'll be very interesting.
Yeah. It's going to be wild. So I'm kind of really loving where that's going.
Yeah, for sure.
Next bit, something I think we all talked about in the group chat. If we didn't, I'd be surprised. Was the Guardians 3, for Guardians Volume 3 casting. Did we hear about this?
No,
Nope.
I don't think we talked about it.
They've casted Adam Warlock.
Oh, yes, they did. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm going to take my headset off, and I'm going to leave now.
Why?
You're not a fan of him?
Do you know who we're talking about?
Adam Warlock. Are you guys new to this podcast?
Will Poulter?
And why I absolutely couldn't stand...
Endgame. I know. Honestly, that was I almost put that in my what ifs.
Yeah.
What if Adam Warlock was anyway, we'll get to that. But yeah, I know. He's a big Anyway, I'm excited to see him now. However, it didn't certainly follow the Infinity Gauntlet that we all know and love from the
Sure.
pages.
But he's too important of a character to say, we're never going to use him, right?
Right. And
I
I
mean-
think that honestly, I think he's a little OP for maybe the MCU.
Yeah.
For the Infinity Gauntlet sort of saga.
Well,
Yeah.
That was kind of the point.
I know. But I think that because they were trying to build off of it, they were building A, they don't want you to know exactly what happens. B, they're building off of the characters and some of them continuing on when if it's just like, oh, well, the Avengers and everybody just completely annihilates Thanos, then it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, which I mean ends up happening technically. But I don't know. I think there's a lot more depth to the characters that we have because if we didn't have them, then Adam Warlock would have been literally, we wouldn't have gotten, Iron Man was so important and then died and then, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He's not...
But the casting at first, I was kind of like, but
In Marvel, we trust.
first of
Feige
all,
we trust
yes,
right now.
Exactly, because they've been right every other time,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a feeling that this is going to be one of those Heath Ledger and Joker castings that we're not going to really see coming
Mm.
because I've seen this kid because he was in Meet the Millers, which just happens to
We're
be
the Millers, yeah.
which whatever just happens to be the first movie we ever saw. We saw it on our first date.
That's
as lame
true.
as that is, but I've seen him he was in Gotham. He played the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him in a couple of other things to where he plays very extreme roles from very opposite parallels. And I think that this might maybe be the absolute perfect casting that we didn't know we needed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm hopeful, but I'm usually the hopeful one.
I don't want it to go ultra goofy.
I'll just see him with
either.
giant balls, so he can't be my Adam Warlock. #, not my Adam Warlock.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
All right. Sure. Yeah. 666. Tight. Let's talk a little bit about Adam Warlock if you don't know. Posted a little something created by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. So he's an OG. Been around for a long time.
An OOG.
Debuted in Fantastic Four number 66 and 67. So he's been around for a long time. Genetically engineered by the Conclave, which is true to what we saw earlier. So that's something that we knew that was going to happen because she already was talking about going up and meeting people, and she'd created the perfect being, and it was Adam Warlock. Possesses super speed, durability, flight, healing, and cosmic magic. So is he going to go toe-to-toe with Carol Danvers?
I mean, I would think so.
Right? Is he?
I don't know if they would actually
How
go.
big of a
Yeah.
part is he going to be? How big of a part is he going to play?
I don't know.
And he also guarded the Infinity Stones during the Infinity Watch saga. So he's a strong dude.
All I'm saying is his ass better look the part
Yeah.
because he currently doesn't look the part.
No, he really doesn't.
So, but neither did Heath Ledger, to be honest,
Yeah.
for Joker. So we'll see. I'm hopeful. I think, and like you said, in Marvel we trust, in Feige we trust. I think that they obviously saw something in him, I'm assuming, during several auditions that, really stuck out. And we have not really been disappointed yet, if I'm being honest.
No, I
look
agree.
at all the castings. Has there been anybody really that you're kind of like, no, that person sucked as that? Like, have we? after the fact now that we've seen them in action.
I have to stop and think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there's nobody that really comes to mind that you're like, yeah, they did a really poor job casting this role, because looking back on everything that we've seen so far out of, Scott Lang with Paul Rudd, obviously you're kind of like, oh God, but then you see him and you're like, holy shit, that's perfect.
I was excited for Paul Rudd.
Oh,
I was
course.
more on the fact that he wasn't going to be Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man, but I was totally fine with it because they had him in there anyways, Michael Douglas.
But I mean, I can't even, and not that I was worried about Paul Rudd either. Just we were just talking about Ant-Man, but I'm just saying, like, there's nobody that I can really.
Only in the X-Men franchise, not MCU canon, can I think of anybody that I'm like, I don't. I mean,
we can go further into the Hulks. I mean, I think Mark Ruffalo was a great choice because I think the chemistry between him, maybe him up front was kind of like, ooh, but when he's with all of them, they have great chemistry as actors. If we would have had Edward Norton with all of these actors, it wouldn't have been the same. Yeah. So it's like you don't know what you're going to get really until you have not just them as a standalone character and a standalone casting, but how is he going to, as Adam Warlock, interact with the Guardians or interact with any of the Avengers that are still around in the future, or whatever the circumstance is. Like, how is he going to interact with these characters that we all know and love? And I trust that they see something that we might not yet see.
Right.
So
I don't disagree.
That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. We found out the Eternals runtime. Have you heard about this?
No.
It's the second longest movie outside of Endgame.
Yeah. It is going to be
2 hours and 46 minutes, isn't it?
2 hours and 37 minutes.
37 minutes.
That's not that bad.
You were off by 11 minutes, hon.
Shut up. It was long. It's a long one. And I'm excited.
Is a long one. She said.
And they say, hey, gross. So they say the movie takes 40% place in the past and 60% in the future.
I can't wait. And that's what, November 5th? Oh.
Yeah, it is early November. Yeah. I don't remember what day, but I know it's really 5th. Early November. I know that it's crazy because they're going to be trying to really set this new universe with Eternals. Right?
Yeah.
They're going to be trying to really set the stage for what's coming next. Is it going to be the Celestials? Is it going to be Galactus? What's going to be the big draw for this next series? And I think we find out in Eternals. So
I'm down for it.
I'm like, wow, there's clearly a lot to talk about with Eternals because a lot of people don't know them. So a lot of that's going to be intros and who they are and how they are and why they're important. And then we'll move into the more story-driven part. So it'll be very exciting to see.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
What do we think? Do we prefer the longer movies or do we prefer the shorter ones?
Honestly, if it's a good movie, you don't notice.
Yeah, I was going to say opinion. It is what it is.
If I'm sitting there checking my watch and wondering, I mean, unless, there's personal circumstances going on outside of the day. But, I mean, if I'm sitting there looking at my watch and yawning every 15 minutes, but...
Endgame.
Stop it right now.
I mean, Endgame's not that movie for most people, but, it is what it is.
I have to sue Disney because I'm going to see a therapist now.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, I'm sure that's going to go really well for you. I don't
Why
know
would
how
they
that could
do that
backfire.
to me?
Yeah, man. How did they not call you and ask you your expectations before making the biggest blockbuster they've ever made?
Jeez.
So, last bit of Marvel news before we talk Tom Holland, before we talk What If. Tom Holland. Zendaya, who plays MJ, has come out and said that she really, really admires how much Tom Holland actually cares about playing Spider-Man. And we've talked about this on the show so many times, how we prefer to have actors who actually care and want their characters to succeed than not, right? Than people who are just there for a paycheck. And on the same side of that, I said that about Eddie Brock, and we saw what happened with Venom, Let There Be Carnage, but I digress. Holland is different. That Spider-Man is fantastic. Marvel's done a great job. But he said when they were finishing No Way Home, they were treating it like the end of a franchise, not the end of a trilogy, not the end of a story arc, the end of a franchise. What do we think about that? He said, if we see these characters again, it's going to be under completely different circumstances. They will not be the Homecoming trilogy. They'll be something completely different. So The question has to be asked: are they saying that Spider-Man's going to be done after this? There's no way, right? There's literally no way.
He's so young, and he's such a massive. I mean, it's hard for me to speak to it because I don't really know. I know Spider-Man obviously has been around a very long time, and I'm talking on the scale of like a start to finish, not necessarily because like when the comics actually started, but like Spider-Man's still going, and he's one of the oldest Marvel characters in existence.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and he's been involved in like every aspect of the Marvel universe when it comes to comics at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he's teamed up or he's gone against everyone we probably know and love or hate. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. And not to mention, spoiler alert, they're already talking about future films for Holland.
Yeah. I
mean, there's more to talk about, but I don't know who's seen what, so I don't want to talk about it.
You know, I think I can understand that now. When they say end of a franchise and they talk about the homecoming, it might be that him being a kid younger kind of stuff is done.
Right. Him being in high school, over.
Yeah. Maybe it's the end of a era.
Like the buddy kind of, it almost reminds you of like a coming of age kind of story. Like that's over with now.
Yeah.
Now it's Spider-Man being fucking Spider-Man.
And, well, now, I mean, obviously everybody knows Spider-Man in the MCU, depending on how that goes. But I think everybody pretty much gets it. Everybody knows who Spider-Man is. We'll see where No Way Home ends and where Multiverse of Madness ends as well. But it's a lot to speculate.
Ends or begins.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into it. Spoiler alerts for What If. If you haven't seen it, I have a hard time believing you haven't if you're watching this. But we're going to get into What If, our favorite episodes, what we thought worked, what we thought didn't, and a couple of what if scenarios that we would like to see. Okay. So let's start overall. What did you guys think of What If? As a series, not individual episodes, as a series, what'd you think?
I thought it was good.
I liked it.
You finished yours today, didn't you?
Last night.
Yeah.
So everybody knows I've been the big proponent as far as like, especially like the Disney topic with the live action movies and them us seeing a different side or us seeing a different light or us seeing something just different with these characters. Mm-hmm. This is my speed right here when it comes to What If. Not necessarily like, am I arguing against what we've seen so far with the Marvel Universe? Am I saying that anything should be done different? No, but I love seeing characters that I know and I love in a different sort of light, in a different sort of way. It's very exciting to me. So I am 1,000% on board for this sort of stuff.
I really loved that a lot of these folks came back to actually voice their characters and actually be a part of it. More specifically, may he rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. I thought it was amazing that he came back to do, 4 episodes?
Yeah, I think he did 4.
Yeah, I think he's in total, he's in 4 episodes.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, Sebastian Stan, Mark Ruffalo.
That was probably the only thing I really didn't like about the series is the fact that Tom Holland didn't do the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then you had like Chris Pratt. He didn't do
no, he didn't do Star-Lord, no.
And neither did Chris, what's his face?
Hemsworth?
No, the other
or not, Chris Evans?
Evans, yeah.
Yeah, in the first one, you mean.
Yeah, and I don't think he's in there at all.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's done with Marvel. Not in like a negative way, but he's just like, I'm not doing this anymore. I've played Captain America. We're done.
Yeah.
I think not Lupita Nyong'o. I forget who plays the head of the oh my god, Dora Milaje. What's her name?
Oh, Michonne. The chick that plays Michonne, right?
Yeah.
Michelle something or another, I believe.
Yeah. I don't know who she plays, but I think she reprised her role.
She did.
Paul Bettany didn't, but Chris Hemsworth did.
Paul Bettany's in there.
No, he's not. He does not play Vision in those 2.
No, he doesn't.
That he's in. But there's somebody else that does. I'm just watching the Zombies episode. I was so in love with it. Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston plays Loki in the other episode.
Oh, I guess there's going to be a season 2 potentially.
Mm-hmm. It's already talking about it, and they're saying they're going to gear it after Phase 4 of the Marvel Universe. So I don't know. I'm excited, but I thought they did a great job expanding the universe. Samuel L. Jackson plays his character. But the big guys, no RDJ, no Chris Evans, but the people who are still involved in the MCU of the Avengers, other than, of course, because there was pending lawsuits. I doubt that's why ScarJo didn't want to do hers. Her character's done. She's kind of done as well. But
thinking about that, this was already done way before that lawsuit.
Yeah, but if it was in contention and discussions were had long before that.
If she was disgruntled in any form or fashion, she probably would have been like, you know what? No, find
and
somebody else.
Jeremy Renner reprises his role, I think, 3 different times.
What does that say right there?
Oh, does it say Paul Bettany? It does.
Doesn't he sound so different?
He does. He sounds super different in the show.
I think him and we were both kind of like, I'm kind of surprised that he didn't do it.
I stand super corrected.
I mean, honestly, I was going through trying to figure out who's voicing
accountability,
and I kept I kept going back to IMDb just to make sure that they were matching up. That's why I was like, no, he actually did the Vision.
Does Paul Rudd play Ant-Man in this one? I don't think he does he?
Yes, he does.
Yep, that's Paul Rudd.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Sebastian Stan, I think, really
definitely
stood out big time in the Zombies episode. He was probably my favorite.
He's handsome even as a cartoon. Look at him. Look at him with the long hair and the scruffy
He is
scruff.
a handsome cartoon.
Yeah.
So I didn't think about this really until kind of the end, although they kind of hinted at it, that all these stories would culminate into something else. So, I mean, the big bad, if you want to call it that, for the What If series is from the What If Ultron 1 What If series. He finally gets his synthetic body, he gets Vision's body, and he gets the Ultron persona. And he collects all the Infinity Stones and feels the need to do like he did in Avengers 2 and try to wipe out all of life in order to get peace.
Oh, you know who else was in What If that surprised me?
Who's that?
GSP.
Yes!
St. Pierre.
Playing the Leaper. Batroc the Leaper.
I was like, what?
Yeah. But they led it all towards a finale of which the Watcher felt the need to intervene and get more people involved to try to help stop Ultron. And I thought it was freaking amazing. So I'm going to go to the second question. Of the Guardians of the Multiverse, which was Killmonger, Sharon Carter, Party Thor, Doctor Strange, the Heartless Doctor Strange. Who else am I missing? Star-Lord, T'Challa.
Oh, yeah.
And T'Challa, and we see him here. Who was your favorite of the Avengers, the multiverse Avengers?
I'm trying not to be biased.
I think mine would probably T'Challa as Star-Lord was pretty dope.
I liked that a lot.
But honestly, when they started to put him in, I liked Killmonger a lot.
What did you like about Killmonger? Not disagreeing with you, just what?
You're being biased.
Michael B. Jordan, but then too.
Speaking of huge names that reprise their roles, Michael B. Jordan.
I also like the way that he played the long game all the way to the end, and just set everything up. That's actually pretty dope.
Yeah,
and I like that a lot.
Mine was Doctor Strange. I liked the deranged Doctor Strange that went off the deep end and really didn't know how to control himself. That was my favorite guy.
So I obviously like to, I'm trying not to be biased because I loved the Thor episode. I thought it was hilarious. But I have to agree with you. I think Doctor Strange, only because I think that they portrayed that in such a... that whole episode, I know, unfortunately, it's one of your least favorite, if not your least favorite. But I think that I loved how they showed his... Because... Doctor Strange is and you see that in the Doctor Strange movies. He's kind of a pompous ass. He makes a lot of money. I mean, this is obviously prior to him getting into his accident and losing his, I don't know, were they engaged? The woman that he loved.
Just the love interest,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't die, but, I mean, it's very different. But it was just like seeing the way that he was broken and seeing how he did everything in his power to keep her when he didn't really. It's kind of like one of those, the grass isn't always greener on the other side.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think it was very, like, the artistry of that episode was great.
Yeah.
And showing him get more and more basically sedated with evil, like over and over. Like I thought that
he was
really
a good
cool.
guy with really bad intentions,
right? And I think the way that they portrayed that was really, really, really well done. So I think that's probably one of my more favorite episodes. Even though the Thor episode was super fun, and there were funny parts, and then you see that he's panicking because his mom's upset. I think the premise of that whole episode is like more to be fun, but I don't necessarily appreciate that you have Thor worried about his mom being upset with him. Like, I think a part of that kind of killed it for me.
He was an only child.
So, I don't know. I liked the way that they did Doctor Strange, for sure.
Yeah.
It felt to me a little like Pet Cemetery.
I can understand that side of it, too.
It's like, man, come on. You already know how this goes. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You already know how it's going to go down, but it's just like, I just loved how they portrayed it, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
I did too. I liked all the different scenarios and who did what and what the possibilities ended up becoming. But I think we all generally liked it. And I'm excited for episode 2 or season 2, but I want to know what if scenarios. And I did preface this with Ryan that it doesn't have to be MCU. You could, not like canon MCU, but let's talk Marvel what if. If in the what if universe you could see a what if episode, what would it be?
What if they actually put Adam Warlock where he was supposed to be?
See, I had that one written down, and I had a feeling you were going to say it, so I took it off.
That's silly.
Is
that really what your thing is? What if Adam Warlock they changed the story of Avengers Endgame? What if Adam Warlock was there?
I had it written down too, so I agree with you.
I mean, honestly, I would kind of like to see where they would have went with it.
Yeah.
With him actually still being there. Because
so what's your what if question when you're saying that? Like you have all the titles, what if zombies, what if Doctor Strange lost his heart? What's that one moment that changes everything as opposed to just having his character be involved?
Iron Man doesn't die. Everybody comes back.
What if Iron Man didn't die from the snap?
Yeah.
No, that's what would have happened, I'm assuming, if Adam Warlock was around.
Yeah. They all, if I'm not mistaken, they all make it back.
Yeah.
Everybody with him, yeah.
And then good old Nebula ends up with it later, but...
Right. So what about you?
I have 3.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
I have
Although
one.
I kind of have 4 because I was thinking about this one when we were talking about the Infinity Stones earlier.
Yeah.
But like, what if the Time Stone had been destroyed at some point?
Mm.
Because I feel like that played such a massive role.
Yeah.
In Infinity War and in Endgame. Like, what if that stone either didn't exist or it somehow got destroyed and it wasn't a part of the stones?
Yeah.
Like, how would that have played out? But that's not even one of mine. So I tailored one to you.
Oh, wow.
What if Venom chose the Punisher?
Oh. Wow. What if the Venom symbiote landed on the Punisher?
So
that's a comic that I wanted to...
I kind of already know how this plays out, like, in my head, because I feel like we have Eddie Brock, who is, like, maybe not ethical, but he's, like, a kind of a moral, like, decent guy in a sense that he doesn't want to kill people. He doesn't want to... But then there's the Punisher, who's, like, an anti-hero, and then you have the Venom, who's also an anti-hero, and then, like, they mash up. I feel like they would just fucking wreak havoc and probably end up being a bad guy.
That'd be a brutal comic.
Right.
Let there be vengeance.
Let there be vengeance. So another one of mine, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong because I don't think this happened.
Okay.
What if Thor was a herald of Galactus?
That has happened.
It has happened.
In the comics.
In the comics. But I mean, none of that. Galactus hasn't even really been introduced into the movies.
Sure.
But, like, imagine, I wanted a Thor one. I wanted a Thor one, and I've been reading the Thor comics, and I know that there's a little bit of team up there.
So instead of Silver Surfer, what if Thor was the Herald of Galactus?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I have one more.
Okay.
What if the Avengers never assembled?
Ooh.
That's interesting. I think they would lose a lot quicker. I think everybody would lose.
But I mean, I felt like that was an obvious question. Avengers assemble. What if they never assembled?
Yeah. What if they never got
didn't?
together?
What if they didn't do it?
Then all these factions happen, and you know what? You never know what's going to happen.
What if they all just stayed the course? It's like we keep asking. It's like the Eternals, and it made me think about it because I watched the Eternals trailer today. You'd be so proud of me. I just went out of my way to watch it. But I watched the Eternals trailer because I knew that it was coming out soon, and I'm super stoked and excited for it. So I was watching it, and in it, they asked them, where were you when all this was happening? And I was like, fuck, what if the Avengers never teamed up?
Yeah.
So, like, it made me think of it.
It's one of those things that I don't know. I always felt it kind of weird, but they would probably end up in the same place. Like, if take New York where it first happened, they'd probably all end up there anyway.
Maybe.
I mean, you got Iron Man who's already there, who's probably going to fight whatever comes.
And that's one of my issues, too, with the entire movies. Like when Thor's doing his whole thing in London and things are going absolutely batshit
Where the hell's
crazy.
everybody else?
There's more than enough time for somebody like Iron Man to get there and do something.
Yeah.
Or when Iron Man's house gets blown up, where's Chris at? Where's, Captain America?
Yeah.
I do have one more, but I want you to get your tears.
Well, golly gee, Batman.
I know, I'm sorry.
I'm waiting for you to say whatever one is mine.
What if the timekeeper actually got involved in the timeline?
Wait, what are you talking about?
Like if he got involved and actually like messed with time. Because doesn't he usually say, I can't do anything. This is the timeline. This is what it's
that's
supposed
the
to be.
culmination.
What if he altered
one.
time?
He does. That's the culmination of the last one.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like that's what we're going to get answers for, and so it's kind of that being my last one. I think that's the answers that we're going to kind of see is him actually altering time because we don't really see that yet. It just alludes to him doing it, right?
It shows him doing it.
Oh,
here's my thing. Who does he answer to?
Yeah. Who's your motherfucking boss?
Who's your boss?
It's like I can't intervene.
Why?
You just went toe to toe with Ultron with all the Infinity Stones from different times and whatever and galaxies, and this guy's destroying universes, and you're going toe to toe with him. Like
who's writing your check?
I can't intervene. I swore an oath. To who, bro?
Yeah. You are the power. What's yours? I gotta know now.
Mine is what if Magneto was able to convince Charles Xavier that he was right? So you've got the master of magnetism and the Brotherhood, and his big 5-star recruit is Charles Xavier. What then? I think that would be absolutely insane because then you've got Guardians, Avengers, all these people who are not mutants going against, I mean, let's call it the biggest faction in the MCU. X-Men are just they're countless. There's so many of them. So what if Magneto, in all their conversations, finally Charles Xavier's like, dude, you're right. And they turned on the humans.
The Avengers get beat.
They do get beat. Because there's not a single Avenger that I can think of that can take on Magneto.
Scarlet Witch.
So many people are going to come in and be like, well, what about this person? Well, in this universe where I'm talking about, Scarlet Witch is already the daughter of Magneto.
Yeah.
I mean, let's think. Thor, sure. He's absolutely physically strong enough to beat almost anybody. But Mjolnir's made of metal. His armor's made of metal. Captain Marvel might be one.
Also goes to the infinite question: can Magneto move Mjolnir?
Yeah,
if he's not worthy.
I think he has.
Control magnets.
I believe he has.
What if Magneto could move Mjolnir?
So there's a really cool one that happened where Absorbing Man was a kind of a dumb hero in my opinion, but Absorbing Man grabs a hold of Mjolnir. And his whole body becomes the same strength of Mjolnir, and he starts beating the crap out of Thor until Thor's like, yeah, by the way, I run Mjolnir, so I got you too. And he just starts controlling him. So that would be very interesting. I don't know who would win in that particular scenario, but I just think that would be a good one. Who from the mutant side defects and goes over to say, this isn't right, let's help the humans.
Jean Grey.
And who can stop Magneto and who can stop Charles Xavier together?
No.
Who does that, Ryan? I need answers.
I have to think about it.
What is your what if selection out there in alter
We
ego
have to
land?
know.
Tell us.
Not gonna lie, I kind of have a what if inside of a what if.
Yes.
Let's go.
What if Doctor Strange was able to bring his wife back? Is there no Doctor Strange?
Right.
Yeah, would he just hang up the cape?
So in this
immediately?
what if, inside the what if he does get her back, then
Yeah,
what?
Then what?
Does he say I gotta retire?
I don't know. What happens?
How about what if we got more of the zombie episode, because I still want to know what the hell happened there.
I want to know what happened to Hulk at the end of what if.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's going to do it for us here at the Alter Ego Podcast. Thank you so much for checking us out another week. Congrats to our main man, Mark. He's married by the time you're hearing this, and we're all there happy, taking selfies and being just, overjoyed.
Can't see it, but I'm throwing rice.
Throwing rice. We are throwing rice, but we're not throwing it gingerly.
No, we're throwing it aggressively.
We're putting some mustard
Yes.
on that rice.
And we hope that some of it gets into your eyeballs.
Yeah.
That's not
We
nice.
hope you can't see.
But
We
you're
hope you have-
married, so who cares?
We hope you have retinal damage.
Stop.
Anyway, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for checking us out, and we'll be there with DC Fandom, talking about all the big trailers that are dropped, everything that we've seen, and we will feel free to speculate wildly because that's
we will.
what we do.
Yes. Bye.
I got nothing.